All right, so much thanks for staying there on the program this morning on ITV. One more time, my name is Evan Sunokugi. Yes, I told you that the situation between members of the academic staff of Nigerian universities and the federal government is not, it seems not to be encouraging. Following the very first salary that ASUU members received after a very long strike. Well, we've been following the story. We understand that ASUU members have to go back to work following the judgment that the National Industrial Court of Nigeria upheld. It was the appeal court that gave the judgment that ASUU should go back to work. And of course, the National Industrial Court of Nigeria had to uphold that judgment. ASUU went back to work on the 14th day of October 2022. So if you put that together, it is exactly 25 days now that ASUU members have been back to work. But the issues are that the first salary came, and for members of ASUU, this salary got to them half. They got half a salary. But the federal government is of the opinion that no, we did not pay you half salary. What we only did is to give you a pro rata salary. So the question now is, what is the difference between the pro rata salary and, of course, the half salary? Because for pro rata salary, we are simply talking about a salary that you give to somebody because that person did not complete the job you give to that person. Take, for example, you engage me in a month, and I give you half of the month, then you pay me half of the month. So that is pro rata salary. So these are some of the trade of words between members of ASUU and, of course, the federal government. We're so privileged this morning to have Professor Julius Iyase, who is a member, a very strong member of ASUU, Uniben chapter, and of course a very strong member of ASUU in the country. Professor, you're welcome to this program this morning night.
Thank you, Evans, for having me. Good morning, viewers.
All right, now let's start with the NEC meeting that you people had yesterday for some days now, about 2 days or thereabout, and it ended only yesterday morning. All right, so are we seeing the possibility of you guys going back to strike? I want to hear from you, though we've had some the readings from newspapers.
Yes, it's, I think, though we were divided between those two decisions, whether to or not, even some universities you would have read had even down tools. Immediately that half salary was paid. But ASUU looked very closely and then had come up with a decision that for now, let's continue to engage the political option that has been presented by the Speaker of the Lower House, the Green Chamber, that is Femi Gbajabiamila. And so we've decided to engage that, look at that maybe, and then look at what happens towards the end of the month, see what the Nigerian rulers are going to come up with. So that is the situation right now. So a number of persons have suggested returning back to the trenches. And we didn't have anything that was going to stop us other than morality. Looking at the students that we lecture and all that. You are aware that some information came out that why some students were returning to school. So much of a mishap. Yeah. Some were kidnapped along the way, and maybe some had lost their lives and all that. And so if you look at all of this, and then more intently too, these same persons who are burdening themselves in government and behaving this way are not, they don't have even children in Nigerian universities. And so they don't care, they don't give a hoot and all that. And so that is what had guided the decision that ASUU has taken this time. Let's watch. For now, we're also looking at some other possibilities.
Okay. Now, I have also read some of the suggestions, some of the response that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has given. As a matter of fact, he said that ASUU, he's pleading with ASUU. He's on the side of ASUU. There's no doubt about that. And he's saying that next year's election, next year's budget, we handle so many of these issues. He said that about 1.25 billion naira has been added to part of the budget so that all these issues of ASUU salary and all that will not resurface again. But we are talking about this year now, and we're talking about this half salary. So do you see the possibility of them paying the full salary, as it were?
Well, that is sacrosanct.
I mean, for the month of October.
Right now, we are waiting for Femi Gbajabiamila. He is the one that has appealed to ASUU, and we're listening to him. So we're waiting for the weight that he has brought to bear in this matter. Otherwise, natural laws or whatever demands that we should be paid our full salary. The peculiarities of the university does not permit you saying that you are paying somebody pro rata. How are you going to judge the amount of work that the lecturer puts in? If you get to my table, there are so many things that we are doing outside our office, outside the classroom. As I live here now, I'm going for a committee meeting over university issues. Within that, I'm attending to departmental work. I'm teaching students. So many things. But
we understand that during your strike, your doors were locked. The schools were not closed. But most offices of the lecturers, they were locked. Lecturers were not found around schools.
Yes. Well, okay. That is likely to be possible for some cases. Once
so if
the students our office is not our place of work. It's not the entirety of our place of work. The major work we do in the university has to do with research. If you find out, if you want to what it is, it's mostly research. The information we go to give in class is based on research findings.
So are you saying that during the period of the strike, most of you guys were doing
go find out publications.
But
whether university lecturers published.
Why you went on strike was because your research grants were no further coming. So if
is it still coming now? It has not been coming.
So what did you now do to the strike? What did you now do the research with? If you are saying that that period you didn't have the grant to go through your research,
of course.
Now you are telling us that you were.
Of course, if you know you publish your parish. If you are a wise lecturer, you must pursue the item on the employment paper which has to do with research, because that is what is even particular to you. It's either you publish or you perish. Without papers, you don't get promotion. It's not just the number of years. There are some other cadre of staff that at the end of 3 or 4 years, you must be promoted. But as a lecturer, if after 3 years you have not added any paper, because to move from one status to the other in the university, there are numbers of paper published in recognized journals that you must present. And so, it is even a better time for you. And what are our research based on? You know, researches are based on how to move the nation forward. How do you improve the environment that you are in and all that? And that is one of the very, very big problems that we have about the turn-and-down relationship. That is that there's no relationship between the university and the society. Many people are not coming here. But then who do you blame? Because most of the companies that are even existent at all in Nigeria are not locally, they are not local. Many of them are international. Look at the companies that are doing well, the few now that are still there. And so ideas that are supposed to, move our country forward are lying in our cupboards, in our research work and all that. So, but these are all published. A few that, for instance, we worked on Vital Donania, this seed that produces plant honey, which you find around the Asian, Onwa and Esako border and all that. It's sweet, it's like honey if you process it and all that. And that's something containing about over 18 different types of sugar, and yet does not cause diabetes and all that. Immediately we published, I finished with my student and all that. And in a company in the UK, seeing the publication, are written us that they want to use that thesis as a chapter in their book, that research finding and all that, and pay royalty to us based on that. What will you say about? And then when I presented that research work to TED Fund for the same publication, it was not taken and all that, because I don't know anybody in TED Fund.
Whereas a foreign nation,
yes, that is what we are seeing in this country and all that. So our work does not end in a classroom. That is not where it is.
Okay.
Even then, I know how many references and all that I was still signing for many students. Of course, it was a time for many students to even, many of them now wanted to leave the system. And so we're signing, you know, reference letters and all that. Different things many were doing their work. The only thing we would do was going to class to teach.
Okay. Now, let's go back to the issue of your resumption, because just like what we said, that your resumption came through as a result of the Court of Appeal that held the judgments of the National Industrial Court. Now, most schools are still staggering to resume, or if you like, you may want to describe your resumption as staggered resumption. So the question that parents are asking, or even the students are asking, is why?
Why staggering
staggered resumption?
Wait, let me ask you. Yes, there's a popular saying that you can take a horse to the river, you can't force it to drink water. And that is why so many persons, you know, honorable men in this society and even outside have said, you cannot use legal means in this matter, because where your right stops, my start begins. So how can you force? Are you going to carry the lecturer from the office to the class? And then you are trying to now, in fact, we in the union, our worry is that there's an intention by this government to destroy public education at the tertiary level.
Professor,
because that has happened at the secondary and primary level.
Yeah,
they want to bring that to bear again at the tertiary, because you see, the lecturer can give you as a student, okay, come to class, say, this is the course content. You have the course content, this, and give you information on where you can go to the library anywhere to go and get information and face me in the exams. That you go to teach. Teaching is different from lecturing. That is the honest truth. I can be in my office and teach you. In even, is it because we are not technologically advanced here? No, because we are epileptic, NEPA and all that.
We are really not looking at the teaching
yes.
as it relates to the resumption.
Yes.
Of course, I was in the university
yes.
too. When you say that lecturers are at work, it entails more than the normal classroom.
That is true.
That. I mean, you need a lecturer to approve your course
yes.
application.
Yes.
You need your lecturer to do one or two things. I mean, like for example, most schools are not going to be convocating. I doubt if Uniben is going to be convocating because this ought to be the period. But because of the strike and all that,
yes.
most of these schools are not going to be convocating this
yes.
year. So the question we are asking is, as at the time the Court of Appeal gave the ruling, that, yes. okay, you go back to work. You guys accepted. So, but even as we speak now, like Uniben, Uniben is still trying to resume. But so why is it that right from that very day that
yes.
the Court of Appeal gave the ruling
yes.
and also accepted? Why didn't all the universities resumed on the same day?
That's of course, you know, the calendar automatically are not the same. That is the truth. If you find out and you go to the media, you notice that full Lokoja, Federal University of Technology in Lokoja, that they are starting exam November 15th. Uniben will start December 5th. There are some universities that have finished the exam before the strike started and all that. So
has Uniben resumed now?
Very well.
Students, are they on campus?
They are on campus. Those who had courage to return. You know, the students also are not too sure of what was going to happen in the university, because almost everybody in this country should be aware that what the government did was wrong.
Yeah, but there are insinuations.
Is it that what the lecturers, what took us out on strike, is it that what we're asking for what was not right?
Yeah, Professor.
Or is it that the items have the items been addressed? Or what? So The students themselves, they know.
Yeah, they know.
The students are also suffering all of this.
But don't you also think that students naturally,
yes,
they respond to the lecturers?
Yes.
I mean, when students see lecturers in school,
yes,
naturally they will come.
Yes.
But when the students find out that the lecturers are also still staggering to resume, the student will go back, because most of the students, they are not even around anyway.
Yes.
So no student will want to come from maybe the north, then he gets to school, the lecturer is not there.
Okay.
So he would rather be around when the lecturer is
Evans,
around.
I'm head of department. My department has been open since. Before that resumption, I paid 50,000 naira from departmental money to clean our lecture rooms and labs. I paid, I'm telling you, I'm here, I paid that. The money didn't come from government. It didn't come from the school, because the government has not given school money. From proceed books that the department wrote was where I generated that money with which I prepared the classrooms and the labs. Do you understand? And then since then, some of my colleagues said they went to class and didn't find any student, especially that first week of resumption. Didn't find students in class. I've been here. I've been opened. My project students were numbering about 10. They called me once and said they were coming to see me. Have they come? I've not seen them. And so, okay, by yesterday, the Departmental Appointment and Promotion Board met to promote our colleagues, both academic and non-academics. We met at a meeting yesterday. During the first week of resumption, the first day, we had a departmental meeting and encouraged everybody to go and work. The faculty also did. And so the lecturers have been ready to return back. But then you find within the 8 months, so many persons have found one thing or the other to do to earn a living.
That's the students, the lecturers now.
Both lecturers and students. Yes. And so it will take time, to relinquish that. I hope you know. Gradually, it's going to be gradual. A man that you have not paid salary for the past 8 months, they expect that the man was folding his hands and watching. And so it will take him time, to reconvene. Let me use that word. To return back. Or return, not return back, because it's the same thing. To return to campus. I hope you understand.
Yeah.
So it is not, something, for some, they die in inertia. Do you understand? That is what the issue is. But if you go to campus, it's boisterous. People are working. We're in our classes. We're waiting for students to come. The hostels have been prepared a long time. I remember that the hostels, I met the university at the time, she fumigated the entire hostels and cleaned them and all. So
the students are not available now?
No. Some of the students are the ones that are not there. But then that is what you get these days. It is not just even because of this strike alone. Where you teach now, a class where you normally get over 200 or 300 students writing your exams. During classes, they are never all up to about 100. That is the situation we find ourselves in the country. The truth about it is that Nigeria has bossed itself to a situation where it's certification. It's not what you can do. And so the student is not, the interest is not in coming to listen to what the lecturer is going to say. It's just to come and write exam and then go.
Yeah, but don't you also think that the problem lies with you lecturers?
How?
I mean, apart from a student just answering to questions, examination questions,
yes,
are there no ways, you should employ to know whether that student actually sat for XYZ time?
Are these not the complaints that we have? In a class where you are going to mark over 1,000 scripts, or you have at the 100 level now, you have in only some few faculties, because we have now fractionated the lectures at the 100 level. Because, for instance, as a chemistry lecturer now, or students who are to answer chemistry questions. You have, let me read out the number. You have, for instance, the faculty of physical sciences, your faculty of life sciences, you have medicine, you have engineering, you have education, you have pharmacy, you agric, so many. And by the time you put all these together, most time you get between 4,000 to 5,000 number of students.
Yeah.
Yes. What we have answered your question is that if we are able to get continuous assessment.
Assessment. I was going to say that.
Yes.
Because
the continuous assessment is supposed to help. But how do you now continue to assess that number of students at a level for within 3 months of lectures? Do you understand? Because that is what you have in a semester. So how are you going to now continually assess this number of students? When even the simple practicals we do, I've complained here very loudly that you can have in a practical class, you see about, come a video, you see about 30-something students around one burette. This same number of students, the classrooms that were built at the inception of the university, these are the classrooms that are still remaining for us to take this thing. I hope you understand.
And at times, too, some of the students, they don't even take them to the lab. Because I had a personal experience in my time in UWN.
Yes.
It was until my final year that they took us to our language lab.
Okay.
I mean, I never knew that we had a language lab there.
Yes.
I'm not trying to indict anybody now.
No.
That was what happened.
Yes.
Most of the sounds, speech sounds that we were made to produce orally and all that, most of the questions we answered on writing and all that. It was in my final year that I actually went to the language lab to maybe vocalize a sound. So when you say a sound is a plosive, a sound is a fricative, you vocalize it, you see how your oral cavity moves and all that on the screen. It was in my final year. Right from year 1, year 2, nobody took me there. So it was not as
but it has to do with
that I was not ready to be there.
It has to do with
it was the case that some of the lecturers did not take us there.
Were they asked to take you there?
Of course.
No.
They are practical.
You have to find out whether, that course has a practical content. Do you understand? There are courses that are purely theoretical. There are courses that are practical based. So any lecturer, you can't do more than what is being set out by what you have in the curriculum. That's just it. So that is the issue. But for us, it's a practical course. And so for any student, you must watch how reactions take place. You must analyze, you must do things. A student, for instance, in medicine must go to the cadaver room to do for anatomy and all that. But is that not the quarrel we have with government? That we need these facilities to be able to attend to the requests you are making now. Do we have them? Is that not the issue of revitalization?
Okay.
If supposing you now have a student in medicine who will not have seen, the way muscles are joined to the bone in the human body, because that is the one of the practicals they will go to. A surgeon, for instance, will know how to tear, to cut, and all that. They work with cadaver. Probably you don't have the dead body because you buy them for practicals. Supposing you don't have them. Suppose you don't have enough lab space to take the number of medical students you are training. Is that not why what we are saying is that the government, you say you are forced lecturers to use legal means to get lecturers because you went and got garage judgment, and then you are forced lecturers back to. Is that the end of the matter? Is that what we are saying? Does it mean that what we were saying, it was wrong? When you leave revitalization, didn't we show examples of how eyepiece is used to defraud Nigerian government or defraud Nigerians? Anyway, we showed this thing. Didn't we? You understand? Didn't we say that the lecturer, the salaries you pay to us is not anything to talk about now? If you even look at
by percentage, your salary was increased recently.
Where? Don't get erroneous information. Am I not here? I tell you people.
Are you saying that what the federal government told us is not true?
Nothing. Nothing. What we are grappling is it even paying the old salary before we went on strike. Is it not what is in the offering now? That you are even paying half of that, and you are calling pro rata. Meanwhile, the law says if you resume work before the half of the month, as a Nigerian, you are entitled to full salary. You understand? Is it you are not you are casualizing lecturer's job or university staff job? It's only casuals or people who even contracts. You don't pay them like that.
Anyway, let's talk about the students now, because the concern for people now, for parents and perhaps some of the students, is how they are going to be compensated. Because whether you like it or not, somebody has to be compensated for time lost. I mean, most schools have given their, their timetable, resumption timetable and all that, and exams are fixed. So do you see the time now between when you resumed and the time the exams are going to come? Whether the students, if that's enough, if that time is enough for them to sit for the exams? Or in other words, what plans are you guys making to, maybe compensate the students?
Yes. When we argue like this, we get pain. Because you cannot ride a horse to death. And we have decided to become the horse you are pushing to the brink. When we resumed, in fact, the university senate met and we have said, let's try and see how we can recover the system. And we agreed that by even the 23rd of this month, 23rd of December, exams will still be going on, just to make sure that we finish the second semester of the 2021 academic session. And by
2021 session?
Yes. By the 2nd of January, you can imagine somebody who is going to mark over 4,000 scripts between the 23rd, while others are supposed to have gone for Christmas holiday.
Still at work.
They will now be working, marking, and compiling results. You know what it entails in the university and all that. We're doing that, and the next new session, 21-22, will be taken off by January 2nd. And then, new session. In April, another session of new students, 100 level students, who are just to be able to clear the backlog of JAM students or JAM entrance, how do I put it? We start in April. And the people, we are all pleading with our colleagues to please, let's cope with all of this. And somebody is coming and telling you that he's paying you pro rata. How you pay somebody like that pro rata? The automatic thing that some universities said we should do was that as we came back now, and that's okay, we are in 2022. We can start from 2022-2023 academic session. We won't do any other work. Since you are not paying us backlog, we won't do any backlog. Whatever you want to do with the students and all that, their result, that's all.
What about the time lost?
That's what, since you say you are not paying for it, it's no more time lost on our part. You are not paying for it. So, okay, let's engage the new session there. And then let's see how we will get. But if you look at all of these people who are sitting, these rulers who are in government, they don't care. They don't have children here.
You cannot say so.
No, that is the truth. No, except did Ngige not go to university? He knows how the university is run. The way he talks on TV. Don't you see how brutish it is?
No, you cannot say so.
No, but wait now. We go through all of this. We all read, we see. Look, the way you talk, as if you don't care. But you know that man you are talking about, the lecturers, whether you like it or not, Igige has a first degree. I'm a professor by God's grace.
And so, is a doctor?
He's a doctor, yes. What is a doctor? You have a first degree doctor, medical officers. Yeah. Because in this country is skilled and we don't know what we are doing, really. That is just it. It's not a PhD. It doesn't have a PhD. After a first degree, you get a master. After a master, you get a PhD. Before you begin to rise on the ladder of your career.
All right, so
that's what it is.
Back to your NEC meeting you had yesterday. So you guys said that you have decided to not to go back to strike, which is very good. We're happy to hear that. But how do you now, tell your members to let the sleeping dog lie? In the face of the pro rata that federal government is saying that he paid you with, but you said half salary and all that.
It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult. It's heavy to tell our members, but we just need to understand now. Like I've said, we wait the end of November, and then wait for Gbajabiamila's intervention and see to what extent that will help to cure the pains and all that. That is just what it is. Otherwise, it's going to be a difficult. What people have suggested before that, let's return back home. Let's go and sit at home until we have a new government or a new Nigeria. Whether we'll be able to get those who are reasonable and all that. Because what we are seeing here in all sectors, the country is on its knees. And so we are also seeing that very clearly, that these people don't care what happened, but some of us are worried. We are Nigerians. We are Nigerians. And that is why I query most time, our rulers, are they Nigerians? Those who take decisions concerning this country, are they really Nigerians? And some of us doing X-ray have found that many of them are no Nigerians.
Well,
that is the truth.
The point is, I don't know how to put it now. By law, they are Nigerians.
You see,
no, by law, they are Nigerians. You can be a citizen
people
of the
who
country.
Shot their way to people who shot their way, who tugged. Let me use, if there's any word like that, who tugged through thuggery to government. Is that what we mean by law? By the barrier of the gun, you've been able to latch onto power. And then by thuggery, you've been able to latch onto power. You now say that you are a Nigerian. Anybody can do that.
Anyway, we want to say a very big thank you to Professor Julius Iyasele this morning, a very strong member of ASUU Uniben chapter, and of course ASUU nationwide. Good to know that ASUU has told us that they won't go on strike again. Even the fact that they are not happy with the way federal government has paid them half salary. That's the way ASUU put it. But the federal government has said that no, we have not given you half salary. It is only that we have paid you pro rata. So the question is, what is the difference between half salary and pro rata? So that will continue as a big question on the lips of analysts. We also want to let you know that when we call our guests here, anything they say is entirely theirs. It has nothing to do with independent radio and television. So what Professor Julius Iyasele has said this morning is entirely his opinion.
Yeah,
we can also invite you. We can invite you as a member of the public there to come here sometime.
Any weapon you use in the jungle, because Nigeria is now a jungle.
Yeah, so
any weapon you use in the jungle is accepted.
All right, so that you can also air your opinion. But mind you, these issues are going to continue. We're going to be inviting government officials, the federal government officials, so that they can respond to some of these issues sometime on this show, and even from the students too, so that they can respond to some of these issues on this show. So that you see that the program continues as we come in here every day, the program this morning on ITV. I want to say a very big thank you to Professor for finding time to come on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we'll take a short pause now so that all that segments will come your way. Please, you stay tuned.